Captain's log. Start date 160806. How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay, but I am on the Enterprise right now. They're in the midst of a search for a missing Starfleet vessel. The Defiant, I think it was. I think they said. I don't know. Something seems to be wrong with the crew. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know. I guess it's just something I'll have to figure out. I told Spock, Mr. Spock, he could contact me if he needed my assistance, but I think he's got everything under control. This week's entry of Prosper, brought to you by our friends over at Beer and Song of the Day. Look them up, www.facebook.com/Beer and Song of the Day, all one word, spelled the way it sounds. Excuse me, the traditional American spelling, I should say. Because some people spell beer B-I-E-R. That being said, let us go ahead and jump into some drinks, shall we? I don't know about you, I'm a little thirsty. I am expecting my house commander to come home in the next day or so. I can't wait. I can't wait for her to get home. 2 adult beverages. Beer. Cold. Ooh, good choices. Good choices. Gave me a glass, too. You may or may not be able to hear it, but with me calling the day Blue Saturday, since I missed Blue Friday, I got Super Bowl 41 going on in the background. We all know that the Colts beat the Bears in that one. I forget what the score was, but I'll find out here shortly. The first beverage of choice this week comes to us from Small Town Brewery. Where are you from? Out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Not your father's root beer. 5.9% alcohol by volume. Pretty good. A little sweet, but I can make do with it. I can make it work. The proper beer opening device for Prosper. Right into, he's a sponsor, so I got to bust out the Beer and Song of the Day, quote-unquote, wicked, awesome beer consumption device. Given to me as a gift by my friends over at Beer and Song of the Day. When I went out to Texas a little over a year ago, or no, a little under a year ago, excuse me, for his retirement/transition ceremony. Kapla! I might need 2, but here's hoping we don't. Okay. Got to start this thing out right. You know me. I like to recognize my friends who had birthdays and miscellaneous friends throughout the week. And that's how I start out. I start out with the birthdays. A lovely lady I know here. I met her once, but she's a sweet gal. I think she might have invited me over to the house for some games and drinks, but I got too much going on around here. Stephanie Hunt. Stephanie, how are you? How's life treating you? Hope things are good? Well, sounds like things are going to be good. Oh, I know what it was. You'd mentioned a 17-pound turkey, and you were going to have Thanksgiving in August. Hey, it's all good. Steph, to you, I drink. Drink one with me. Next birthday on the list. Another dude I knew here. I think right now he's freezing his tail off in one of the Dakotas. I am talking about John Hazen. John, my friend, what is up? How are you doing? I hope life is going well for you. I don't know where you're at. Are you able to do hunting? Are you able to hunt? Are you able to kill anything? Hey, let me know, man. Here's mud in your eye. All right, next up on the list. Old friend of mine. I've known him since my days in jolly old England. Came and visited me a couple times when I was living in Germany. A good friend, a very good friend, an outstanding role model. I would even throw the mentor tag on him. I'm talking about the Honorable Kevin Hawks. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing? I see you're renovating a house. I hope you're not having too much trouble with the renovation project. I hope it comes out good. I see you're putting up pictures. I definitely want to see the finished result from the additions you had on. From the additions. Kevin, my friend, here's to you. 2:20 to go in the game. But I already know how it ends. It is what it is. Next greeting. I knew this guy in Germany. He and I were on an escort detail together. Escort 12, Escort 2. My friend Aaron Williams. Aaron, not Aaron. Aaron, long A. Aaron, my friend, what are you up to? How's life treating you? Hope this finds you well. Hope things are going good for you. Hey, let's drink. All right, next up on the list, a lovely lady. She actually earned a job promotion not too long ago. My counterpart in my current job, Kendra McCrory. Hey, Kendra. In case I haven't mentioned it lately, welcome to the new age group. I'm not going to mention what it is, but actually, I forget what it is. So yeah, I'm not going to mention it because I don't remember what it is. But hey, Kendra, welcome to the age group. Here's to you. All right, next up. Now, this guy is my neighbor here. The outstanding, awesome, honorable Brooks Dorsey. Brooks did this for me about a month or so ago, and I've neglected to mention it sooner, but he gave me something that I would consider a prized possession. Ever since I got into a conversation with some friends of mine over at Descentaholics, I have wanted this shirt. And God love him, he made it happen. What happens on the holodeck stays on the holodeck. It's gotten a little big for him, which that's a good thing. That's a very good thing for him. That kind of a good thing for me too. But it got a little big on him. Fits me just right. But Brooks, my friend, I hope Amber spoiled you rotten on your birthday. I still got something in the works for you. We'll probably get it to you after you get back from your trip. Excuse me. And I'm also going to put together a little get-together. But hey, Brooks, to you, my friend, thank you so much for being a good neighbor and a good friend. And this is for you. A little extra English on that one. All right, this guy. I know he's repping Blue Saturday. If he's not doing it today, he's going to rep Blue Sunday tomorrow. Now, I say Blue Saturday, Blue Sunday because, well, football is back. Yeah, granted, it's preseason. But, hey, it's football. You know what? Everybody's all like, oh, we're watching the Olympics. We're going to watch the Olympics. Screw you. Football season's on Sunday / Monday, depending on where you're at in the world. This guy is a diehard Colts fan just like I am. Actually made it down here to the island of Okinawa. And my house commander and I already have an invitation to go visit him when he gets his stuff. The outstanding Jesse, the Body Rubens. What is up, my friend? You put out a live video not too long ago. It was outstanding video. Awesome chatting with you. I still got the Super Bowl going. I think the final score is going to be... no. Scratch that. Not there yet. But hey, Jesse, my friend, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. This is for you. Screw it. All right, let's see. Next on the list. I actually went to school with this gal for 3 years in Hagerstown. She was around for the last 3 years. Lovely lady, outstanding person, love her to death. Well, as a friend, of course. The exquisite Terri Ramey. What is going on? How's life treating you? Hope things are going well for you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing okay. Hope this finds you well. And hey, if you don't drink, I will drink one for you. And if you do, hoist that glass. Let's see. Moving on down on the list. I know I'm probably going to butcher this one, Joe, so if I do, I apologize. Star Trek fan like me. I have yet to meet him in person, though. Joe Grain, Graen. I think it's Grain. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going with it. Joe Grain. Joe, my friend, what's going on? How's life treating you? How you doing? Hope things are working out for you. Hope you drink too. Excuse me. If so, partake with me. All right. Next on the list, a fellow Masonic brother. I've known him for a handful of years. No, I can't say a handful of years. I've known him at least, wow, it's almost been 15 years for me in the fraternity. I've known him about that long. I've known of him longer, but I know I've known him for about 15 years or so. My brother, Dan Sturgeon. Brother Dan, what is going on? How's life treating you? Hope things are going well for you. Did you ever make it through the East? Dan, I'm telling you, as somebody that's done it, that is an experience I will never forget. Take the opportunity to go through, please, by all means. My brother, this one's for you. All right, next on the list. I graduated with this gal back then. Marching band together. Lovely lady, outstanding person. The lovely Sarah Griffith. I can't remember. I think I went to your wedding. If I didn't, I definitely went to the reception. A lovely lady. I hope you're being taken care of. I really do. I'm not sure if you drink or not, but hey, this one's for you. Hey, Indianapolis Colts just won the Super Bowl. 29-17, which we knew was going to happen. Nah, I just had it on. I'm getting pumped for football. And I'm going off track. Let's get back on course. Must be this area of space messing with me. Excuse me. Another gal went to school with. She's a couple years ahead of me. A lovely lady, an awesome singer, which I still think she should put together a demo tape or a demo reel, demo disc. Whatever you want to call it. Melissa Guffey, for the love of God, please put together something for a demo. You have awesome talent. You are an outstanding singer, and you really should. You seriously. There. Show you how serious I am. Took off the hat and glasses. I never do that unless I'm serious about something like this. You should put together something. You definitely should. You have the talent. You can go places. Melissa, happy birthday, and please, for the love of God, please, please, please put something together. This is for you. Well, it's dead, Jim. Whew. It's a good thing, too. I like Not Your Father's root beer, but it's rather sweet. And, as always, I told the computer to replicate, too. I hope I don't have to replicate a third one. That would not be good. Okay, there it is. I've got Leinenhugel's Harvest Patch Shandy. It is a whopping, drawer-dropping 4.2% alcohol by volume. Rather, it's a weaker beer. But hey, you know what? It's all good. The opening device. There we go. That's a thing of beauty right there. The beer, not the face on the glass, but the beer. Oh, while I'm thinking of that, glass was made by our friends, another unofficial sponsor of ours. Don't know if you can see it or not, but Philo Liquors out of Abilene, Yeehaw, Texas. There's their card. Philo Liquors. When I was out there, they did the best they could to hook me up with something. They just, for reasons beyond their control, they were unable to totally take care of me. But hey, you know what? I don't hold it against you. I know you tried. That's all that matters. But hey, Kapla! Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Indianapolis getting to hoist the Lombardi. All goes well. They'll be doing it again this year. All right, let's move on. Couple more birthdays. I can move into extra shit stuff. Pardon my language. Extra stuff, and then good to go. Another birthday. Actually, it's tomorrow. Just like Melissa's. It's tomorrow. Dear friend, I met him when I was living in England. Dear friend of mine, Lorin Ladson. He has now transitioned into another phase of life. Sea Chickens fan. Hey, you know what? Nobody's perfect. I'm just busting your chops there, Lorin. Hey, this one's to you.
Thank you. Congratulations to both teams.
Excuse me. And the final greeting for this week. The final birthday greeting for this week. Good friend of mine. I met him here. I forget where he went. But I'm talking about Tony Ramos. Ramos! What's up, my friend? How you doing? How is life treating you?
Thank you, Roger.
I hope things go well for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
I want to start off by...
Let me stop that. I'm getting distracted by Indianapolis hoisting the trophy. But hey, Tony, I hope things go well for you. I really do. I hope things go well for you. And hey, let's drink. There's gotta be something about this area of space. We haven't moved in a little over 2 hours. Whew. I may have to go to sickbay here in a little bit. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the additional greetings. First off, we had a few entries for Identify This week. The first thing I wanted to know, I wanted to identify the starship class. Reminiscent of the Galaxy in regards to the components, but that is actually a Nebula class starship, typically a science vessel. And our friend Becky Holmquist, she said it first. She nailed it right out of the park. Outstanding job. The prosper salute to you. And I'm going to drink to you. Next entry for Identify This. I want to know what movie this came from. And there's a very subtle clue, which if I can angle the picture right, you'll be able to see it. Look at his collar. Can you see how many pips he's got on that collar? He's got 4 pips on that collar. And the only time Will Riker ever wore the rank of captain, the rank of captain in that uniform was in Star Trek Nemesis. And our friend, you've heard this name several times, our friend Donald Rogers said it first. He hit it right on the head. Outstanding job, Donald. The prosper salute to you. And a drink. And even though nobody took a guess on this last one, I'm still going to show it off. I wanted to know, since I've been on a Deep Space Nine kick here lately, I wanted to know the episode. Did I want to know the episode? Yes, I did. I did want to know the episode. Sorry I had to double check that there, but hey, it happens. I want to know the episode. Nobody guessed it. The episode for this one was Deep Space Nine's 3rd season finale, The Adversary. Which reminds me of a quote from, I want to say it was one of the Lethal Weapon movies. Mel Gibson's character was watching a movie or a TV show or something. Excuse me. And one of the people in the movie that he was watching said, adversary, which prompted Mel to come back and say, adversary? I do believe you mean adversary, old boy. In a English type accent. In a different accent. But hey, I'm a little off track there. It's all good. It's my show. I can do what I want. Nobody guessed it, but it's all good. I am going to admit that one. You gotta be familiar with Deep Space Nine to understand that one. All right, some more additional greetings. I mentioned one job promotion earlier. I'm going to mention two more. These two guys I know pretty good. They are here at Earth Station Okinawa with me. Brian Sackrider, Joe O'Gorick. You guys, congratulations on your job promotion. Outstanding job doing what you had to do in order to get it. I give you guys the prosperous salute, and I will drink to the both of you. They need to figure this thing. They need to figure this out. This is getting to be too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'll make it. Okay. Just a few more greetings, and then we'll move on. This next lady living in Yeehaw, Texas, where men are men and the bulls run scared. I haven't met her in person, but she and I do tend to joke around a lot on the old fart book. Yes, I did say fart book. And you know why there, Terri Garvin. Terri, my dear, how is life? Well, I know how life is, but what's going on with you? Anything new? Anything good? I hope so. Pleasure going back and forth with you on the old fart book. I hope this finds you well. Here's to you. Next up, I gotta give some love to my father, Jeff Demmett. I really do, especially the last couple weeks. As I mentioned, the house commander is supposed to be coming home tomorrow, and I got to give him some love because he took the time to go out to Indianapolis in the middle of the night, mind you, and pick up my commander from the port. And at the here in about probably the next half hour or so, he's going to be making that return trip again. Pop, thank you so much for your help on that one. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Well, what the hell? Pop, I really appreciate you doing that for me, helping me out. The prosperous salute to you, as always. Let's drink. Oh, my father, if you ever hear me mention the Admiral, it's most likely him. It's got to be the Admiral, not some Admiral. If it's the Admiral, it's him. And the final greeting for this week, I got to do it. I have to do it. Goes out to Elmer Case, Grandpa Case. I think this area of space is affecting him too. Grandpa Case. Grandpa, hang in there, man. Hang in there, man. Robin and I are here for you. If you need anything, you know how to get a hold of us. Excuse me. And please, by all means, do get a hold of us if you need anything. We are here for you. I'm not going to go into more detail about that. The families know. Elmer knows. Robin knows. I know. The families know. Anybody that needs to know knows. Let me put it that way. Out of respect for them, that's where I'm going to leave it. All right, hey. Additional greetings extended. Now, before I get on to this week in Trek history, I do want to mention that the NFL season opener is going to happen. I don't mean the regular season. I'm talking about the NFL season in general. Preseason. Going to happen. Lucas Oil Stadium. I think it's going to happen at Lucas. Hall of Fame game between the Green Bay Fudge Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. Sorry, Indy. It's our year. It is our year. Excuse me. We addressed some needs in the draft. I honestly kind of have a few mixed feelings about addressing needs in the draft. But hey, at the same time, we address the needs. We address the needs. We can only go up from here. I am very happy about that. I am very happy that we are playing the Hall of Fame game. Hey, Our performance is going to set the bar for the rest of the season. Hey, that's all I got. That, like Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on to Trek history. Four birthdays this past week. The first birthday, August 6th, 1911. Well, the first three are on the same day, different years. August 6th, 1911, actress Lucille Ball was born. Now, why am I bringing up Lucille Ball on a Star Trek show? Well, that's easy. Oh, God. Hope we get out of this area of space soon. Lucille Ball and her husband at the time, Desi Arnaz, owned a production studio called Desilu Studios. Okay? And Lucille Ball, after NBC rejected the Star Trek pilot The Cage, went to Gene Roddenberry and said, you know, I like that show. I liked it. You should put together another script, and you should go back to the network. And I'll back you. I'll talk to the network. I'll back you. I'll do what I got to do to help you out. And sure enough, if it weren't for Lucille Ball, I think Gene Roddenberry would not have taken Where No Man's Gone before. And I don't think he'd have produced it. And I don't think that it would have been sold. And, well, I wouldn't be here talking to you like this right now. But Lucille Ball, often referred to as the savior of Star Trek, was born on this day, 1911. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Passed away, I want to say from lung cancer, April 29th, 1989. Yes, she was a heavy smoker. If she were alive today, first it'd be a miracle. Second, she'd be 105 years old. August 6th, 1951, actress Catherine Hicks was born. Now, why am I mentioning her? Because if it weren't for her, Admiral Kirk would not have been able to get the whales from 20th century Earth, gone forward in time, dropped them off, and listened to them tell that probe what to go do with itself. Paraphrasing Dr. McCoy on that one. Anyway, she played Dr. Gillian Taylor, a cetacean biologist in Star Trek IV's Voyage Home. The reason Kirk got the whales, she turned 65 today. 1955, same day, Mike Okuda was born. Now, Mike Okuda, his first job with Star Trek, I want to say, was the Voyage Home. Yet again, he designed the graphics on the bridge of the Enterprise, which, if you look at the bridge of the Enterprise A, you'll notice that the graphics were in green. That was done at the behest of James Doohan, because the filming of the Enterprise A bridge scenes was on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, they were. But Michael Okuda turned 61. Star Trek IV was his first Star Trek job as the creator of the Okudagrams, as it were. I want to say that he went all the way through Enterprise. And it was him and Denise, his lovely wife, that I want to say they spearheaded the Star Trek remastering for DVD and Blu-ray. Don't quote me on that. And finally, August 7th, 1978, actor Sirach Lofton was born. Now, he has the distinction. He played Jake Sisko on Deep Space Nine. But he has the distinction of being the only main actor to have the most non-appearances in the series he was in. I think he did not appear in like 103 episodes of that show. Which, Deep Space Nine, the main character, their captain, was a single father. But for some reason, his son wasn't around a whole lot. I don't know. Hey, you know what? That's this week in Trek history. Now, let's go into the databanks. Spoiler alert! Ladies and gentlemen, the following segment contains spoilers of plot details. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's starting to get worse. All right, this week's entry, the Tholian Web. As the Enterprise searches for the starship Defiant, which vanished without a trace in unsurveyed space 3 weeks earlier, they encounter a glowing object that apparently is not there according to sensors. As the ship moves closer, Kirk identifies it as the Defiant and prepares to board the ship. He, Spock, McCoy, and Chekhov beam over in environmental suits onto the Defiant bridge and discovers the entire bridge crew dead. When the party sees the captain having been strangled by a crewman and the dead bridge crew, Chekhov asks if there is any record of a mutiny on a Federation starship, and Spock says, absolutely no record of such an occurrence, Ensign. When they discover there are no life signs on the vessel, the party splits up to investigate. McCoy checks out the sick bay and finds many dead crewmen, some restrained to the biobeds, while Chekhov finds life support and engineering are littered with dead bodies. After giving his report to Kirk, Chekhov suddenly becomes dizzy and loses his balance. McCoy reports that the crew of the Defiant seem to have killed each other, but he doesn't know why. According to the ship's log, the surgeon on board didn't know what was going on either. He encounters a translucent dead body and can pass his hand through it and a table in sickbay. He determines the Defiant is dissolving. As the Defiant starts to blink on and off, repairs are underway on the Enterprise's transporter, which Scott reports has been jammed up. When Kirk and party are ready for beam out, only 3 of the landing party can go at once. Spock requests permission to remain behind, but Kirk orders him back to the Enterprise and stands by himself. During transport, Scotty has trouble getting the 3 officers to materialize. The Defiant continues to blink on and off, and Scotty eventually gets Chekhov, Spock, and McCoy back onto the Enterprise. Kirk waits on the Defiant's bridge while the Enterprise tries to beam him aboard. The Defiant disappears, and Kirk is lost with it. Back on the bridge, Spock explains that Kirk has slipped into another universe. He is determined that an interphase occurs for short periods in which one may travel between universes occupying the same point. In 2 hours, the computer calculates another interphase will occur. However, the Enterprise must not expend any energy or the dimensional rift will be damaged and Kirk will be lost forever. During this explanation, Chekhov becomes enraged and attacks Spock. During the struggle, Chekhov is subdued when Spock applies a Vulcan nerve pinch to him. The Enterprise crew is subject to the same plague of madness that destroyed the crew of the Defiant. Spock must stay close to the space the Defiant was in order to rescue Kirk at the right moment, or he will die, as his environment suit can provide air for only 3.62 hours. The conversation is interrupted by an approaching geometric, rainbow-colored ship. A Tholian commander named Loskeen informs the crew that they are trespassing on territory of the Tholian Assembly, and they must leave immediately. Spock says that the Enterprise is engaged in a rescue mission, but Loskeen points out there is no other ship present. In the interests of interstellar amity, Loskeen agrees to wait until exactly 1 hour and 53 minutes when the Defiant reappears from the interspatial rift, the time Spock has calculated. When the time comes for the interface, everything goes wrong. In sickbay, an orderly attacks Dr. McCoy, who is trying to find a cause of the mental derangement. Nurse Chapel administers a hypospray to subdue the orderly. The time for the interface comes and goes, but the Tholian ship's engines have disrupted the timing of the interface. McCoy reports that the sickness is not due to an infectious agent. Instead, the area of space they are in is damaging the human nervous system. The conversation is interrupted when the Tholians fire upon the Enterprise, to which Spock mutters the renowned Tholian punctuality. Spock does not wish to attack, but locks phasers on target and hails the Tholians. They do not respond, and orders Sulu to fire phasers. The Tholians stand down, but the ship's power converters become fused, and the Enterprise is adrift. Another Tholian ship appears, and the two touch aft ends briefly before separating, weaving a web between them. Spock analyzes the web and concludes that it is made of energy. However, there is no analog to this structure in Federation technology. He announces that if the structure is completed before their repairs are done, the Enterprise will not make it home. Approximately 24 crew members assemble for Kirk's memorial service. So far, McCoy's attempts to make an antidote for the spaceship is in have failed, while Therigan was promisingly tested so far. Spock speaks, noting Kirk's concern for his crew members that led him to stay aboard the Defiant. Spock repeats a sequence of events that led to Kirk's disappearance and says that the crew must accept the fact that their captain is no longer alive. One of the crew members becomes unstable at this point, screaming and yelling, and must be removed and taken to sickbay under restraint. Spock concludes that I shall not attempt to voice the quality of the respect and admiration Captain Kirk commanded. Each of you must evaluate the loss in the privacy of your own thoughts. Scotty calls the crew to order, and they observe a moment of silence. After the crew is dismissed, McCoy informs Spock that Kirk has left a message in Kirk's quarters that was to be played in the event that the captain is declared dead. McCoy persuades Spock to view the message, but first berates Spock for attacking the Tholians and reducing the Enterprise's chances of escape. McCoy accuses him of attempting to usurp Kirk's command. They play the message, and in it, Kirk asks Spock to temper logic with intuition. And if he needs help with the latter, he should consult with McCoy. He also tells McCoy to remember that Spock is now the captain, and that his command decisions must be followed. McCoy apologizes to Spock for his earlier outburst, and they leave to attend their duties. Meanwhile, Uhura is in her quarters in her civilian wear. She feels a sudden pain, and when she recovers, she sees an image of Kirk wearing an environmental suit in her mirror. She runs out into a corridor and tells McCoy what she saw, but he takes her to sickbay as if she had been hallucinating. She wants to tell Spock, but she faints. In the engine room, another crewman goes berserk and attacks Scotty. McCoy is attempting to synthesize an antidote that will counteract the debilitating effects of inner space. When McCoy returns to the bridge, Scotty reports that he also sees an apparition of Kirk. Spock and McCoy are talking there when suddenly McCoy appears to be fainting. Spock catches him and then turns to see the image of the captain, who appears to be trying to shout something. The captain's image then disappears. When Uhura is released, the crew's fortunes begin to change. Spock and Scott have calculated the next time that Kirk will appear. McCoy has found an antidote for the mental degradation with a diluted Therigan derivative. Therigan, being a Klingon nerve gas, while toxic in its pure form, merely acts as a powerful nerve blocker when dissolved in alcohol. Spock is understandably reluctant to take this antidote, but McCoy orders him and tells him that it's the human thing to do. Scotty, on the other hand, God love him, likes it well enough that when he leaves, he takes the rest of the bottle with him, presumably to see how well it will taste when mixed with scotch. God love that Scotty. It's dead, Jim. A little early, but I got to go without a drink now. At the next interface, Kirk appears in space near the Enterprise. The ship attempts to rescue Kirk, but the ship is thrown clear of the web when it tries to resist a Tholian tractor beam. Thankfully, since Kirk was locked in the tractor beam, he was dragged along also. McCoy and Chapman. God, oh. Oh. A little warning would have been nice. Whew. Oh, I'm okay. We're okay. McCoy and Nurse Chapel stand by in the transporter room with a hypo of Triox compound, as Kirk's environmental suit is beginning to run out of air and he is about to suffocate. Kirk is successfully beamed back by O'Neill aboard the Enterprise and revived. Excuse me. Kirk, back in uniform and on the bridge, tells Spock and McCoy that after the Defiant was thrown out of the interface, he had a whole universe to himself, but prefers a crowded one instead. You know, maybe I should have had some Theragun mixed in my beer. Oh. He asks them how they got along, and Spock and McCoy say that things went all right for the most part. Kirk says he hopes his last orders were helpful, but Spock and McCoy lie and say that they were so busy with the crisis that they never got the chance to listen to them. Excuse me. Kirk gives them a doubting look and orders Sulu to take the Enterprise to Warp Factor 2. Whew. You know, it sounds like everything just worked out all the way around. All right, give me a second. Let me go. All right, here we go. Let's go behind the scenes. Ralph Sininsky began the direction of this episode, but was fired and replaced by Herb Wallerstein. Sininsky used the fisheye lens camera to effect... Scroll up, damn it. Okay, there we go. Sininsky used the fisheye lens camera effect to show the viewpoint of a person affected by interspace. This technique had previously been used by Sininsky in Is There in Truth No Beauty? This is the first episode with Al Francis as the director of photography, replacing Jerry Finnerman. Previously, Francis worked on the series as Finnerman's camera operator. Alright, this is messed up. I'm going to sickbay once I'm done. Judy Burns, a freelance writer, penned this episode, co-written by her husband Chet Richards, to earn money for a study trip to Africa. Hey, I can't think of a better way to earn money, honestly. Burns came up with the idea of spirits floating in space and around the Enterprise. However, Gene Roddenberry specified in the writer's guide for the series that the stories of Star Trek must be based on science and cannot feature unexplained supernatural events. Hence, Burns came up with the idea of the interdimensional rift. Good thinking. Several changes were made from Burns and Richards' early draft, in essence nothing, to the final draft, the Tholian Web, including the USS Defiant was originally the USS Scimitar, the Tholian Loskeen was originally named Loscene, Loskeen, Loskene, was originally named Loscene, capital L-O, capital C-E-N-E. The crew wore life support shields, personal force fields akin to the life support belt, rather than their environmental suits. I think that's eventually touched on in the animated series. International adaptations of this episode's title include, in Japan, Crisis of Captain Kirk, who is thrown into different dimensional space. Whew, Japan's long-winded on that one. Germany, the Spider Web. Portugal, the Web. France and Quebec, the Tholian Trap. Nichelle Nichols described The Trouble with Tribbles and the Tholian Web as two of her favorite shows. In the Tholian Web, we think Kirk is dead, and I see him floating through the walls of my quarters. That was fun to do, of course. I enjoyed anything that I was able to get out of uniform. I can think of a few other things, but I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to touch that one. I should, but I'm not going to. This is one of the few episodes in which all of the regular second and third season characters, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scott, Sulu, Uhura, Chekhov, and Chapel, appear. The close-up of McCoy's hand as it goes through a dead body in the Defiant sickbay was filmed in post-production on an insert stage. Excuse me. The special effects in this episode, as originally aired, were a collaboration by Mike Miner and Vanderveer Photo Effects. Miner said of his work on this installment, finally, the Tholian web came up. That was the one episode I worked longest on. It involved 3 or 4 months out at Frank Vanderveer's optical company. I storyboarded the 17 cuts of effects that the script called for, shot the raw footage, and executed all of the animation plates. I'm told there was a $90,000 optical bill for that one show. Woo! $90,000. You know, back then that was a lot of money. I mean, that was a lot of money. Excuse me. 90,000 now, like, but 90,000 back then, holy crap. Excuse me. All right. This episode introduced a more space-worthy environmental suit, replacing the suits first seen in The Naked Time. Excuse me. These suits were created by costume designer William Ware Theis. Theiss. Hi. I'm glad you survived that little jolt, Windsor. Okay, these suits were created by costume designer William Ware Theis and consisted of silver lame, L-A-M-E, with a fabric helmet with screen mesh visor. This allowed the actors to breathe more easily while wearing the suit. Mike Miner, together with Theis, constructed the helmets. The spacesuits were made from a very slick material resembling silver lame and featured no zippers in order to achieve a completely smooth, unseamed look. As a result, when any of the actors had to visit the men's room, they had to completely remove the costume, then put it back upon returning to the set. This ate up precious shooting time. You know, I'm not going to lie, but I think if I'd have been in that spot, I'd just been a prick and went in the suit. Like, I got to pee. Never mind. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm not going to touch the other side of that. Giggity. Wait, what am I doing? I don't know. The spacesuits were later reused in Whom Gods Destroy. One of the helmets was worn by Conrad Janis in the Mork and Mindy first season episode, Mork Goes Public. Dr. McCoy's spacesuit from the Tholian Web was sold on 7 October 2006 as Lot 978 in the 40 Years of Star Trek Collection auction. The auction estimate for the suit was $6,000 to $8,000 US American dollars. The sale price was $120,000 US dollars with a $144,000 premium. Mr. Spock's suit was previously sold as Lot 149. As lot number 149 in the Profiles in History auction, the Ultimate Sci-Fi auction of 26 April 2003, also having an estimate of $6,000 to $8,000 US dollars. The ship's chapel, which had previously appeared in Balance of Terror, was a redress of the briefing room. The Making of Star Trek incorrectly states that it was a redress of the transporter room. Hey, Making a Star Trek, get your rooms right. And until you do, take that. Dennis, D-E-N-I-S, Russell, was involved with the Tholian Starship special effects. This is the first appearance of a Tholian in Star Trek. In this appearance, the Tholian was portrayed simply by a mask created by Mike Miner. The antique Napoleon III ebonized cabinet pedestal found in Spock's quarters had previously appeared in the films It's a Wonderful Life and Citizen Kane. The piece was originally part of the RKO property department, later came into the possession of Paramount Pictures, and was sold in late 2008 as part of the Profiles in History auction, where it sold for $6,000 US dollars. The lab apparatus and tubing that McCoy uses in attempting to synthesize the Theragun derivative appears to have been recycled from The Devil in the Dark. Where it was used as part of Scotty's makeshift replacement for the main circulating pump of the PKX per GM reactor. This episode is the only time that Spock refers to McCoy as his nickname, Bones. This is the third time that the Enterprise has encountered another Constitution-class starship with its entire crew dead. The others were in the Doomsday Machine and the Omega Glory, which, interesting enough, the latter two, Doomsday Machine and Omega Glory, their captains were still alive. Whereas in this one, all the crew was actually dead. So, I mean, technically the captain's only one man, but the majority of the crew is dead. Whereas Memory Alpha is saying the entire crew is dead. Memory Alpha, get on top of your stuff. That's for you too. Holy cow. All right. The Defiant is not among the names of the 14 Constitution-class starships that were established in the making of Star Trek. The approximately 24 crew members who attend Kirk's memorial service appear to constitute the largest assemblage of Enterprise personnel in the original series. Now, I am going to make a guess that the second largest assemblage was in this side of Paradise, when Kirk approaches a line of people entering trying to get into the transporter room to beam down to the planet. That's a guess. Could be wrong, which is why it's just a guess. The XO3 graphic from What Are Little Girls Made Of appears in the sickbay of the Defiant. According to Mike Sussman, the Enterprise episodes in A Mirror Darkly and In A Mirror Darkly Part 2 was to be written as a prequel to Mirror Mirror and a sequel to The Tholian Web, two of his favorite episodes. In regards to the creating a sequel, okay, that one wasn't as bad. In regards to creating the sequel, for me, it was an irresistible idea that the Defiant from the Tholian Web was still floating out there somewhere in interspace, and we never knew what happened to it. Sussman said, "To me, that was a tantalizing story idea I wanted to explore." No insignia was created for the Defiant crew's tunics. However, in creating In A Mirror Darkly, the wardrobe department came up with something new, a variation on the standard Starfleet arrowhead, tilting it and adding an extra angle to its shape. In the original series episode, some Defiant crew members may be seen wearing the Enterprise assignment badge. In Turnabout Intruder, Kirk, in Janice Lester's body, mentions the events of this episode to try to convince Spock of the mind switch. There's another segment here, but my laptop's running a little funky. Bear with me. Let's do a time check. Woo! Coming close to an hour. All right. Hey, two more things. Actually, one more thing. Last thing. Finally, Star Trek was nominated for an Emmy Award for the special effects in this episode. Mike Miner, who once mistakenly reported that this outing actually won the Emmy Award for its effects, was somewhat relieved by such recognition. Influenced by the award nomination, he later stated about his work herein, "I guess it was worth it." Makes sense to me. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this entry of Prosper. I've already finished the rest of my beverage, which I really need to go to sickbay. All right. Folks, I want to take the time, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to not only watch this, to watch this entry of Prosper, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, or however you're watching on your computer, mobile device, or smart television. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed time to make like the Enterprise and warp out. Everybody take care, have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive, because otherwise you might spill your drink, but more importantly, you might kill yourself or somebody else. Drinking and driving is worse than being a Twilight fan. What's worse than that is root for cheating bastards like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl, and my suspension stands, and we're going to miss the playoffs because I'm not going to be in the first 4 games. Brady, men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anyone who's a member of, supports, or defends ISIS, the website Agony Booth, or the Westboro Baptist Church, who tried to picket Leonard Nimoy's funeral but couldn't get it done because they couldn't find it. Things like that are highly illogical, and I will not make time for them. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I wish you all live long and prosper.